Well, at the University of Chester Business School and the Faculty of Business, Enterprise and Lifelong Learning, the CPIN initiative is absolutely fantastic. It's so important for the university to link with the professional bodies, also to link with employers in the area and in the region, but the professional bodies in particular with the Chartered Institute of Marketing, because it's so important that we get that accreditation for our students and able to get that networking going for membership.
Okay, so CPIN stands for Cheshire Professional Institutes Network. So it's all the professional bodies in the area hosted and brought together in a hub by the University of Chester to network, collaborate, share ideas and hopefully do business off the back of it.
Now, I interviewed lots of different people around the club to understand more around the culture of what Ferguson had told me. And I interviewed one young lad, a Northern Irish player, a guy called Robbie Brady, that told me a fabulous story. Brady was really highly rated at the club and he was expected that he could potentially go on to do great things, and it never actually happened for him. So when I went over to meet with him, I got talking and I said, what happened for you at the club? Why didn't that potential blossom as you thought it could? And he told the story. He said he'd been at the club for a few years, and he said one day when he was about 18, he said he was queuing in the staff canteen. He said, and while he was queuing with his tray waiting for his lunch, he said, Cristiano Ronaldo, the world's best player, came out of the showers. And he said he came strutting to the dinner queue. And Robbie Brady said, I don't know why I did it to this day, he said, but my instinct was, as he came up, I said to him, you can go in front of me if you like. He said, and Ronaldo looked at him and then went, okay, fine, thanks, and went and got his lunch. And he said, when he came to the end of the lunch queue, he said, Alex Ferguson was waiting for him. And he said, even with an innocuous change like that, an exchange like that, Ferguson was on it because this indicated the kind of culture he wanted. And the question he asked Brady was, why did you let him go in front of you? And Brady said his first response was, he said, it's just being polite, boss. Ferguson said, I don't believe you. Why did you really let him go in front of you? And Robbie Brady said to him, he said, because it's Ronaldo. He's the best player in the world. It's obvious. Ferguson said to him, I want you to think that you're better than him. And he said, because if you don't believe it, why should I have any confidence in you?
Well, this is it. It's a business book, not a football book. And what I explained to the group was that how to think like Alex Ferguson can be related to any industry. It's certainly not about football. So let me give you some basic stats. A manager in the football industry will last for 1 year and 4 months before they're dismissed. 55% of those managers that are dismissed will never work again. So in an industry where the patience levels are low, the failure rate is high, and the consequences are huge, how did Ferguson not only deliver success, but end up emerging twice as successful as any other manager for such a sustained period of time? And what we looked at was, there was a lot of really important psychological tricks that he used, that anybody can use it and relate it to their own industries.
He'd go down to the dressing room and he'd give them a speech. He'd say to them, before you go out training today, he said, I want to tell you a little story. He said, I'd like to tell you about a young man and his son that were walking along a road, he said, and they see 3 blokes digging holes. He said, the dad stops and he says to the first man, what are you doing? The bloke says, I'm digging a big hole there, you can see precisely what I'm doing. He says to the second fellow, what are you doing? The bloke says, I'm earning £10 an hour. When he stops the third man, he says, what are you doing? The man says, I'm building a magnificent cathedral. He said, and one day I'm going to bring my own grandchildren back here to see it, and I'm going to tell them the part that their granddad played in this fantastic building. Ferguson said, you have the same choice when it comes to your daily routine. He said, if I was to stop you and ask what you're going to do, you could tell me that you're just merely kicking a ball around on a field. You could tell me that you're earning £2,000 an hour for the session that you're doing. He said, alternatively, you could tell me that you're playing your part in building the greatest football team that anybody's ever seen. A team that you'll be proud to come back and tell your children that you contributed to one day.
Fantastic start for CPIN. It was a real buzz, real good atmosphere, fantastic speaker, just what we wanted.
Tonight, I wanted them to take away the understanding that they've got within their own control a lot more power than what they realise. What Alex Ferguson was a great illustration of is the power of how the example of one person, one leader, can help to start to change a culture of even an organisation as huge as Manchester United. So if we were sat in the audience tonight and people realise the power that they wield simply by looking at the way that they start to model these behaviours, the way that they start to adopt some of the same psychological mindsets, our potential is unlimited.
170 people on the inaugural event is a great achievement. Hopefully it will continue. I'm sure it will, and it looks like we've got other professional bodies knocking on the door to join in as well, which is brilliant.